Alright, we're going to be looking at one solution, no solution, and infinite solutions. We're going to start with these three problems. The first one says 3x minus 10 equals 20. Remember, if it helps you, go ahead and start with that line down the middle. We find my variable, which is the x, and it has a 3 with it. So I'm going to work away from it. I need to get rid of that minus 10. The opposite of minus 10 is plus 10. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. My 10s will cancel, and I'm left with 3x equals 30. Now, I still have that 3 in front of the x. Remember, if you have a number right next to a variable, that means they're being multiplied by each other. We have to think of the inverse, which the inverse is divide. So I divide both sides by positive 3. My 3's cancel, and I'm left with x equals 10. We need to think, is this a one solution problem, no solution, or infinite? Remember that one solution, you get an x or a variable equal to a number. So this problem is going to be one solution. That means that there is only one answer that will make this problem true. Looking at number 2, I have 4x plus 26 equals 2 times 2x plus 3. I look at the left and I notice there's nothing I can do with that yet. Going to the right side, I need to do to the distributive property. So I take 2 and multiply by 2x, which is going to be 4x. Now I take 2 and multiply by 3, which is going to be plus 6. I drop everything that I have left on the other side. I notice that I have some like terms, which is my 4x, my 4x. So I need to combine those. I always say bring your right one over to your left side. So the opposite of plus 4x is minus 4x. On the right side, my 4x's cancel, and on my left side, my 4x's cancel. So I'm left with 26 equals 6. I ask myself, does 26 equal 6? No, it does not. So that means that this one is a no solution problem. This also means that there is no number in the whole wide world that I can plug in for x and it will make this statement true. My final problem that I have says 3x plus 1 minus 5 equals 3x minus 2. So I take my 3 and I times it by my x, which is 3x. I then take my 3 and times it by my positive 1, which is plus 3. I drop down my minus 5. I also drop down my 3x minus 2, which I have not touched yet. We need to combine my like terms, and I notice my like terms are my 3x's. So I'm going to use the one on the right first. It's a positive 3 because there's no negative sign in front of it, so the opposite or inverse of positive 3 is minus 3. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. On the right side, my 3x's cancel, and I'm left with negative 2. On the left side, my 3x's cancel, and I'm left with 3 minus 5. All my variables have gone away, and now I'm just going to write it up here. I'm left with 3 minus 5 equals negative 2. I can keep simplifying my left side. 3 minus 5 is negative 2, and on the right side I have that equal to negative 2. If I ask myself, is negative 2 equal to negative 2, and I say yes, that means that there is infinite solutions, which is that I can plug any number in the whole universe into my x value, and it will make my statement true. Now, I would like you to try these three problems, pause the video, and then check your answer. Number 1 says 2 times 2x minus 2 equals 4x minus 4. Pause your video. Now let's go ahead and check your answer. On the left side, I notice that I have parentheses being multiplied by something, so I need to do the distributive property. So I do 2 times x, which is going to be 4x. Now I do 2 times negative 2, which is going to be negative 4. I drop down my right side, which is 4x minus 4. I need to combine my like terms, which are my 4x's. I always say use your one on the right and then move it to the left. In front of my 4x it is a positive, so I need to do the inverse, which is minus 4x to both sides. On the right side, my 4x's cancel and I'm left with negative 4. On the left side, my 4x's cancel and I'm left with negative 4. I ask myself, does negative 4 equal negative 4? If I can say yes, then remember, they're equal to each other. This is an infinite solution problem. Go ahead and try this one, which is 5x minus 10 equals 40. Pause the video and check your answer. I find my variable, which is my x, and with it right now I have my 5. So I need to work away from that. In order to do that, I need to get rid of the minus 10. The inverse of minus 10 is plus 10. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. My 10's will cancel and I'm left with 5x equals, and 40 plus 10 is going to be 50. I now still have that number 5 right in front of my x, which means that's multiplication. So the inverse of multiplication is division, so I divide both sides by 5. My 5's cancel and I'm left with x equals 50 divided by 5, which is going to be 10. Since I got a variable equal to a number, this one is one solution. Go ahead and check this one and then pause the video and check your answer. It says 5 times x plus 12 equals 5x plus 7. First I'm going to do the distributive property. I do 5 times x, which is going to be 5x. I now do 5 times positive 12, which is going to be positive 60. I go ahead and drop down my right side, which is 5x plus 7. Now I notice that my like terms are my x's, which is a 5x and a 5x. So I'm going to bring my right side over to my left. Right now it's positive 5, so the inverse of positive 5 is minus 5x to both sides. On the right side, my 5x's cancel and I'm left with 7. On the left side, I'm left with my 5x's cancel and I'm left with 60. I can't continue to solve and I ask myself, does 60 equal 7? If I say no, which they don't, it's going to be a no solution problem.